Hello, good morning, everyone. Welcome to our fifth session of this program called as Back on Track. Today's session is going to be a little different from all the last sessions that we had. Today's session is focused towards something called as single leg stability. Before we actually jump into the session, I would really like you to know why is single leg stability as such important. Now, whenever we see any functional activities like climbing stairs or even walking, or in case if you like to jog or you like to trek, in every functional activity there is a lot of single leg stability that we require. Now whenever we are on our single leg, our pelvis has to be stable enough and should not drop or hike. Now once that happens and you have a good single leg stability, which prevents your low back pain because of pelvic instability. Today's session is all about getting that single leg stable. Probably initially you might need a wall support in few exercises. If you feel wall support is not enough, you grab one chair, keep it beside you so that you have a wall, you have a chair, and let's get started with the warm-ups. The first exercise that we are going to do for warm-up is called a hip cars. Again, most of the exercises today are going to be single leg. You might feel a lot of burning sensations on your posterior chain that comprises your glute med, gluteus maximus, your hamstring. You might feel a lot of burning all around there. In case if your ankle stability is a little bit off or you have an ankle instability, you might feel a burning sensation in your calf, which is completely normal and should be felt. Okay, let's start with today's warm up. The first is going to be hip cars. Hip cars is all about getting your hip stability plus balance on a single leg. For starting the exercise, what I want you guys to do is grab on a chair just for the support. Again, before we actually go into that, I want you to understand that these 2 points are called as ASIS, and this is our pelvis, anterior superior iliac spine, which tells us about our pelvis alignment. Okay, so we know that the pelvis has an anterior tilt and a posterior tilt, but that's in a front plane. Okay, we do not slouch during any of the exercises. There is another movement in our pelvis that is called as a hike and a drop. Okay, so when your ASIS is aligned, your pelvis is aligned. Okay, so let's start the hip cars. The first, grab a chair for some support. Let's do it. Okay, so get your balance on your left side first. Touch your great toe, move it towards the shin and to the up. Get it as high as possible. Internally rotate and get the hip into the extension and go down. Okay, do the opposite movement of this. Take your hip into the extension, externally rotate. When this all is happening, try to minimize any of the hikes or anterior tilt, posterior tilt, hikes and drops. Okay, make sure you're as stable as possible. Let's do it again. We'll do 5 reps on the right, 5 reps on the left. Okay, let's start. 1, internally rotate, extend, bring it back, extension. I'm going to show you from this side. So you extend, externally rotate, bring it front and down. That finishes your 1 rep. Okay, let's go. 1, 2, 3 and 4. 4, 3, 2, 1. That's your second rep. Let's do it. You might feel a lot of burning on your left side because that's your single leg. If you reduce your support, you might feel a little extra burning, but get a mobility. I hope your third rep is done. Extend, go back, 4, 3, 2, 1. One more rep, guys. Come on. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 4. Externally rotate, and 1. Good job. Let's do it on the opposite side now, okay? Weight bearing on the left. So you go 1, 2. Next, you have to internally rotate as much as possible. Get that rotations. Do not hike or drop too much. As stable as possible. Extend and down. Reverse, extend, externally rotate, and down. That's your 1. And feel a lot of shiver. 1, externally rotate, 2, 3, and 4, 4, 3, 2, 1. This exercise is also, keep doing it, guys. Come on, third rep. Just giving you some information along. So this exercise is also called as controlled articulation mobility, where your actually joint is articulated. So how do you actually move in around that joint in a very controlled way? Okay, let's do 2 more reps. So you go 1, 2, 3, and 4. And you go 4, 3, 2, 1. One more. 1, 2, 3, 4, 4, 3, 2, and 1. So good job, guys. There you have done your warm-ups, as called as hip cup. The next exercise that we are doing to do as a warm-up, again, you might need a little bit of support there, and again, it's going to cause a lot of hip burning and a good hip mobility. Okay, grab a chair, get that support. It's called as hip airplane. Okay, so grab that, go on a single leg, okay, as much as possible. Now here, what you have to do is hold. If you're falling, hold on to the wall, hold on to the chair. Okay, let's do it on the right side first. So weight completely on the right, raise that up. Okay, now move your pelvis in and controlled way out. So let's do 8 reps. Point the toes. Okay, so you're going to do 1 in a controlled way. You rotate it in and you rotate it out. Okay, let's do it. Point the toes properly. So it's going to be 1 and rotate out. In. Make sure your foot is properly planted on the ground. Knee is as stable as possible. Do not keep moving the knee. Keep it as stable as possible. Pointed toes. Okay? Grab the chair with both hands, okay? And in and out. Drop the pelvis and drop it out. In case if this is difficult or your glutes doesn't have a good amount of strength, you can also modify the exercise but just keeping it this way. Okay? Let's do 2 more reps. So you go in and you go out. You go in and you go out. Good job, guys. In case if these exercises feels really difficult and give you a lot of ache or instability or any kind of discomfort at your back, means you have not kept your core active. So make sure your core is somewhat active. Okay, now let's do it on the opposite side. I'm gonna just keep the chair here. Okay, support this time, weight bearing on the left. Take your hips back. Okay, pointed toes and rotate and internally rotate. 1. Okay, make sure your feet is planted properly, get that grip. In case if your socks are slipping off the floor, take them out. Okay, externally rotate and then internally rotate. 2, 3, 4. Get that stability. Do not keep moving your knee. Keep it as stable as possible. Okay. 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, and relax. That was our warm-up, hip cars and hip airplanes for the hip mobility as well as single leg stability. For the next exercise, let's take a short 10-second break and sip some water because I know today's warm-up are itself very tiring. Okay, sip some water. Let's take a 10-second break. The next exercise is called a single leg balance. Pretty easy exercise and absolute amazing for increasing your proprioception. Okay, now here you will just go stand on a single leg, point your toes down and just try to balance. Just try to balance. In case if this is pretty much easy for you guys, then probably let's take a foam pad or a pillow. I might need one foam pad, okay? So you grab a foam pad there. Foam pad should be used only for the people whose balance is pretty good without a foam pad. So get on the foam pad, hips pointed in front. I'll just show it from a side angle so you guys are able to see properly. In case if you need a support, you can take some support. And this is going to be a single leg standing balance on a foam pad. Keep holding. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Switch the side. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Make sure your knees are stable as possible, your ankle is stable as possible. Okay. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Ten, 9, 8, 7, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Okay, let's do it again. 10, 9, 8, 7, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And as erect as possible, do not slouch. Make that pelvis in a controlled way, do not hike or drop. 3, 2, 1. And again, 8, 7, 6, 3, 2, 1. Let's do one more. 10, 9, 8, 7, 4, 3, 2, 1. Feel that burning on the weight bearing leg. 10, 9, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Relax. Okay, so here we have done something called as a single leg balance. Okay, we don't need a foam pad anymore. The next exercise that we are going to do is called a B stance RDL. You might not even need a chair support there. You can just take a wall support in case you're losing the balance. For the B stance RDL, we have done an RDL. Remember, now the only difference is you're going to go more on a single leg. Okay, so stand, shift your weight on one side. Let's say we are starting with the left side. Lift your right leg a little up and keep the foot, the toe touch to the mat and stand erect. No slouching there, okay? Stand erect, keep that core active. Now do a hinge movement and then go down and squeeze the buttocks and come up. That's called a B stance RDL, okay? So you have to hinge and go back. Keep taking your hip back, hip back, hip back. Move your arms like that and up. Do not change your knee angle here. I'm going to show it from this side. Okay, so that's 2. There you go, 3. Squeeze the buttocks when you're coming up. Here you go is 4. Was 5. Squeeze the buttocks when you're coming up. Feel that burn on the weight bearing leg and on the hamstrings. 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Good job. Switch the sides. Weight bearing on the right this time. Keep your knees soft. Hinge and go. 1. Squeeze the buttocks. Don't arch or slouch there. Keep it active. 2. Squeeze the buttocks and come up. Go 3. There you go. 4. 5. Try to shift your weight as much as possible on one side. So let's say right now it's more on the right side. Okay. The opposite leg, only toe is touching. So the 80% of your body weight is shifted on a weight bearing leg. 9 and 10. Good job. Okay. So there is something what we have done is called a B stance RDL. The next exercise that we are going to do is called a standing fire hydrant. You will need a wall support in that case. If your balance is too poor, or you can take a chair support. I'm going to show it on the wall, okay? So for this exercise, what I want you to do is go stand like a 2 feet distance from the wall, okay? Probably 1 foot, yes. Again, everything today is going to be single leg. So one leg has to be lifted off and kept on the wall, okay? Now here, what you have to do is, I'm just going to show you from the side how it's going to look. So imagine if this is the wall, okay? Now, I'm just a feet away from the wall, a little ahead. I'm going to keep one leg there, okay? Yes, planted on that. And I'm going to hinge a bit. And then I'm going to rotate. 1, externally rotate. 2, 3. Okay, that's how it looks from the side. I'm going to show you from the front. This is called as a standing fire hydrant. Initially, you can do it without the resistance band. Feel it more burn. You can add a resistance band above your knees. Okay, let's do it. Weight bearing on the right side first. Let's do 10 reps. Hinge. There you go. 1. Keep the knees stable. Make sure your arch is not dropping, otherwise, your knee is going to collapse. Knees